All right, guys, we're back. One and only Bob, like Catherine Applegate. Last title was An Idea. And the last thing we heard was She Vanishes Below the Surface. Team Elephant. Hurry, Ruby cries. The elephants bend lower, moving like a giant elephant shovel. Where is she? Masika asks. Lower, says Akello. Lower, sisters. There, Ruby yells. No, wait, there. Up, Akello commands, and the interlocked trunks rise from the muddy water to reveal a tiny, trembling baby gorilla sitting in their makeshift sling. Kudzu, says Akello. Stay calm, baby. We're going to toss you to safety, okay? Kudzu gives a little nod. On my count, says Akello, start swinging. 1, 2, 3. Up and over go the trunks, and up and over goes Kudzu. She lands with a little plop on the gorilla side of the moat, right next to Masika's rear legs. Good work, everyone, says Akello. And good thinking, Ruby. Thanks, elephants, says Kudzu, wiping mud from her eyes. That was fun. Can we do it again? Akello takes a deep breath. Maybe later, sweetheart. Quickly, I make my way back over to the moat. Kudzu, I say, follow me. Let's go find your 8 peeps. Can I go with Bob? Ruby asks Akello. Akello touches Ruby's back with her trunk. I'd much rather you stay here, dear. And it's may I. But, Uncle Ivan, Ruby pleads. I'll keep an eye on her, I tell Akello. I'm going, Ruby says in her most determined voice. Maybe I can help. I helped just now. Akello hesitates, but finally gives a slow nod. Probably she figures there's no arguing with Ruby. She's right on that one. Ruby crosses the moat and joins Kudzu and me. Be careful, Akello warns. There's more of the storm coming. I got her, Akello, I say. You'd better have her, she warns. I think I flew, Bob, says Kudzu as we weave our way through the wasteland that was Gorilla World. Yeah, me too, I say. It's that kind of day. Title, What's Out There? A handful of humans, firefighters, and police mostly have begun to roam the grounds, checking out the damage. We pass a park employee with a weapon slung over his shoulder and a net in one hand. Trank gun, he tells a passing police officer. We don't know what's out there. She nods. How fast do they work? On something like a big cat? He shakes his head. Not fast enough. I look over at Ruby. Stay close, kid. As we near the gorilla villa, what's left of it anyways, a screech hits my ears and makes the wailing police sirens sound like it's like mewling cats. It's Kenyani. She's frantically knuckle-running back and forth near the collapsed gorilla villa. Chunks of cement, shredded wooden beams, and bent metal lie everywhere. A cluster of gorilla females and juveniles huddle not far from some rescue workers. There's Mama, Kudzu cries, dashing towards the gorilla named Jody. I'm so horrified by the destruction that I almost forgotten my muddy little charge. I really shouldn't be trusted as an ape sitter. Kudzu darts over to her mother's waiting embrace. Jody nuzzles her and strokes her and says soothing, motherly gorilla things. Thank you, Jody mouths to me. Don't thank me, I say, looking over at Ruby. Thank this little gal. She figured out how to save Kudzu. Thank you. Ruby, isn't it? Ivan's friend? Ruby gives a nod. We all helped. I provided moral support, I added. I flew, Mama, Kudzu says. Of course you did, dear, says Jody. Kenyani's fresh wails focus my mind. I gotta go, I say. Ruby, you should stay here. I'm going for a no-nonsense voice. The one Julia uses on me when she calls me Robert. Let me see what's what. I'll be right back. No way, Uncle Bob, Ruby replies just as firmly. I give up, but I'm afraid of what she might see, of what we both might see. Any sign of Ivan, I ask Jody. She shakes her head, a grim look clouding her eyes. With Ruby by my side, we approach a pile of wreckage that used to be the gorilla villa. At the same moment, Ruby and I gasp. There's Ivan's hand, barely peeking through the rubble. Title, Not Moving. I know that hand like the back of my own paw. No, Ruby screams. Uncle Ivan! I check the crowd. No sign of Julia or George. Nothing. No Maya either, or other keepers I recognize. Just a few employees, several rescue workers, and 2-3 days-looking visitors. Is he alive? A firefighter asks. Hand, whatever it's called, isn't moving, says another. Weaving my way through the tangle of legs, I climb up the rubble pile, sniff a bit, and bark the loudest. Yes, he's alive. Get your rears in gear, bark. just like those overachieving rescue dogs in Man's Best Friend show. I listen for a sound from Ivan, a grunt, a cry for help, nothing. Still, he smells alive. At least I think he does, and that's good enough for me. Next title, Xena. Another dog races over, a tough-looking German shepherd wearing an impressive glow-in-the-dark vest and some booty things to protect her feet from the rubble, but I hold my ground. This is my friend we're talking about. I lick Ivan's hand, his fingers twitch. Well, that's all it takes to get both of us barking like maniacs. More people gather. I see Maya and Ruby next to me. I see Maya next to Ruby, which makes me feel better. Name Xena, says the shepherd. Bob. I nudge Ivan's fingers with my nose. Nothing. And this is Ivan, my best bud. Sorry to hear it, she replies, and I don't like the sound of her voice. With great care, and far too slowly for my taste, rescue workers begin removing clunks of wreckage and tossing them to one side. Xena and me, we most likely stay out of the way, but every so often I lick Ivan's hand, just so he knows we've got him covered. I glance over at Maya and Ruby. Maya's wiping tears from her eyes while she strokes Ruby's ears. Ruby is giving Maya a comforting trunk hug. Good old Ruby. Wise beyond her years, that gal. I check the crowd again, still no sign of Julia or George, and that's when a sickening thought hits me like a bite to the belly. What if Ivan isn't the only one under rubble? Title, Dragon. More police cars and ambulance arrive at the park. A handful of keepers stream into, looking frantic and confused. The weirdest thing of all, wandering through all the destruction are random park residents, animals, birds, reptiles. Residents who most definitely do not belong in Gorilla World. A police officer who is chasing an armadillo. A great blue heron watches the mayhem from her position atop a giraffe statue. A wallaby pokes his nose out of the bush, his saucer eyes catching the fire engine lights. Net, someone yells. We need more nets. An older gentleman holding a blue umbrella lets out a blood-curdling scream. Dragon, he cries. I swear to you, I just saw a baby dragon. Sir, says the keeper named Malik. No worries, that's actually a Gila monster. He's named Gilligan. A paramedic raises his hand. They have, like, venom, don't they? They say a healthy adult won't die from it. Malik shrugs. Although they'll be in some serious pain. Wonderful, the paramedic mutters. A glance over my shoulder to see Sarah running toward Maya. I can't hear her words, but I can definitely see the worry in her eyes. Xena's ears tip forward. They're getting the cutters in the jaws of life. Jaws, I repeat. Don't like the sound of that. Spreads metal. They're probably getting close. Come on, we need to get out of the way. I ain't going anywhere. I hear you, she says. I can tell from the weary sound in her voice that she's had this conversation before. But the best thing for Ivan right now is to let the humans do their thing. I think about it, figure she's right. I give the fingers one last lick. They don't move. Nothing. Nada. We pick our way to the bottom of the debris pile. Hang in there, Ivan, I call. We love you, buddy. I know it's crazy, but I listen anyways, hoping for a sign, any sign that he's still with us. Title, Hugging. I run to Kenyani. Don't worry, I tell her. He's going to make it. I can tell she doesn't believe me. From there, I head over to Maya and Sarah and Ruby. Maya has a radio handset in one hand for some reason, a young squirmy meerkat in the other. Sarah kneels down and hugs me tighter than any sweater she's ever knit. Bob, she cries, what happened to your nose? And look at your paw. Some dogs don't like to be hugged that way. I'm one of them. But Sarah needs to do it. I can tell somehow. So I let her. It isn't so bad, really. Title, Loose. A new police officer joins us. Officer Williams, she nods at Maya. You're with the park, right? Yes, I'm Maya. This, Officer Williams pauses, we need to get this under control ASAP. Winds are going to pick up, and we haven't even hit the eye. Storm surge could be an issue. This one's moving slow. We've got a skeleton staff here, says Maya as the meerkat attempts to eat her earrings. Early reports say maybe a third of the habitats are damaged or destroyed. She shakes her head. We got some injuries, some possible fatalities too. Human? Don't think so. Anything loose that could be a, problem? Maya presses her lips together. Yep. Such as a couple Florida panthers, gray wolves, python maybe, possibly an alligator or two. American alligators, not Chinese. I don't care if they're from Canada. If they eat people, we're in trouble. They don't, typically, Officer Williams repeats. Well, that's reassuring. Sarah loosens her grip on me ever so slightly. Maya, she asks, her voice trembling. Have you heard anything on the radio from George and Julia? I keep calling, but the cell towers are down. Nothing yet, Maya says, but I'm sure they're fine. Nearest shelter's over at Lincoln Elementary, says Officer Williams. You could check there. Sarah frowns. They're probably here right before the tornado hit. We are searching the park, ma'am, says the officer. We'll find them if they're here. Everybody clear out, a firefighter with a megaphone yells from the spot near Ivan. Could be danger if more collapse. We're working on this last metal beam. I look to see if Ivan's fingers move. Nothing. Hold on, Ivan, I yell. Nothing. Sometimes yelling is the worst sound in the world. Oh, sometimes nothing is the worst sound in the world. Ruby lets out a little elephant cry, and then I realize maybe that's the worst sound in the world. Next title, CPR. The wind dies down to a whisper as if the world's holding its breath along with the rest of us. Do you have any vets standing by? Asks Officer Williams as 2 more ambulances screech to a halt nearby. Yes, Maya nods. Not sure when they'll get here, though. Officer Williams waves down an ambulance crew member. You ever give CPR to a gorilla? Primate's a primate, I guess, he says, but he doesn't look too sure. What's going on? We're waiting on equipment, but we're stretched pretty thin. Lots of structural damage on the north side of town, says Officer Williams. They're going to get a chain on that last beam. They're trying to pull it free with one of the cars. Somebody under there? Gorilla, we think. Not sure what else or who else. I look at all the cement, all the wood and metal. Nobody could survive that. Not even a silverback gorilla with the strength of 8 men. And yet, Ivan's fingers moved. And then they didn't. Several minutes pass. The rain slows a bit, along with the wind. The crowd watches as 3 firefighters attach a long chain to the metal beam next to Ivan. When they hook it to a tow bar on the rear of the police car. Then they hook it to a tow bar on the rear of the police car. Back up, folks, calls the megaphone guy. Farther! The chain clanks. The car growls. The wheels squeal. Grinding, groaning, progress just a bit. The big clunk of metal has definitely moved a whisker or 2. More grinding. Wheels dig holes in the ground. Mud flies like thick brown rain. A lurch, a snap. Clanks and rumbles as big beams jerk free. The rescue workers move in, digging with their bare hands. Cement and dust, metal, and bits and pieces of Gorilla World are everywhere. But where is Ivan? Next title, no. No movement, nothing. But after a few more minutes, one thing is clear. A gorilla-shaped mound has appeared, covered by dust and dirt and debris and splattered with rain. It just lies there. I've lost a lot in my life. My whole family, Stella, but Ivan, no, it can't happen. Not Ivan. Next title, Miracle. The mound sits up. Title, Gorilla Ghost. Ivan emerges from a cloud of dust like a jumbo-sized ghost. He blinks several times, coughs, shakes, stretches a little. He's holding a banana, which he proceeds to eat. Everyone, and I do mean everyone, cheers.